Hey guys, how's it going? It's Al. Week 15 on DraftKings is here, and I've got an NFL DFS tournament lineup that we're going to try and build from you from a first look perspective. I have done it's Monday. I've done absolutely no research. There's no projections out for the slate because the week 14 slate hasn't even finished yet because there's still a Monday night football game to go before I do this. But every single week we try to piece together a lineup based on what we see, the matchups that we have through a correlated lens so we can build some sort of a tournament lineup to give you a better look at how to break down this slate. You can use it as a dummy lineup if you want to just plug in there and hold the space until the weekend comes and you change as more values open up throughout the week. Now, I do have a piece of news and announcement that I have to make. I am going to be out of town this weekend, so there will be no Friday video for the lineup builder video this week. There will also be no Saturday 5 under 5 video. I will be posting the 5 under 5 as an announcement in the Discord. So make sure you join the Discord at smizzle.tv/Discord. That will be for anybody in the Discord. It's not paywalled behind there. It's in the open part of the Discord, so everybody can see what the 5 under 5 are going to be for this week. Trying to do what I can while I'm trying to compete for $2.5 million this weekend to try and give you guys the information that I know that you want. So unfortunately, there will be no videos for this, the end of this week. There will be videos all the way through it. So thank you for being here. Drop a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, ring the notifications bell, leave me a reply down below, letting me know where I should go in New Orleans this week. And let's go.
He's a legend.
I know it's not showing on this screen, but if you go to the Al Smizzle Fantasy Football channel on YouTube, you can just type that into the search box up here, or you can go to smizzle.tv/FF and it'll take you right there, and it'll give you a little prompt to sub to the channel. You'll find the week 14 recap. Spoiler alert, I did really well in week 14. So if you want a breakdown of all of that, I also did a breakdown of the best ball teams that made it to the playoffs. So a season-long best ball thing there, as well as the listener league. The top 10 finishers got their shout outs. My high stakes lineups, my millionaire maker lineups. We had a member of the community do really well in the millionaire maker this week as well. Big week for the Smizz Gang, so definitely go check that out. And the Smizz Gang listener league is posted. You can go to smizzle.tv/links if you want to get that. It is not a lobby game. It is absolutely no rake. $10, 3 max, 25K in the prize pool. I'll shout out the top 10 finishers on Monday, next Monday, on that same recap video for week 15 on the Fantasy Football channel. So jump in this tournament today. 2,500. It's for the Sunday slate. We have a Saturday slate this week and a Sunday slate this week. This is for the Sunday slate. Make sure that we fill it. It's smaller because I'm not going to have videos out later in the week because I'm going to be in New Orleans, but get your entries in the listener league today. Let's take a look at this slate. We have 10 games once again, so it's going to be a short slate. You don't always have to chase the sub 5% guys on the shorter slates just because there's less options. Just like when you play a really short slate like Showdown, you're going to stomach a lot more ownership. If you play the 3-game slate on Saturday, you're going to stomach a little bit more ownership because there are just less plays to be made. You can still get different, and you want to get different in tournaments, but you can get different at a 9% play. You don't have to go for a 2% play. You might have to, not have to. You might be able to get there more optimally on a 13-14 game main slate, 12 to 14 game main slate, as opposed to a 10 game main slate. There's just less players, so there's less routes for you to go to get to those guys. So taking a look at quarterback, Jalen, I guess we just stack Jalen Hurts with 2 of his receivers at this point, right? This is just what we do. Multiple touchdowns in all of his games, since week 6, except 1. He has also contributed 4 rushing touchdowns over that span. The target for us with quarterbacks is basically get over 30 points, right? You want those 30 plus point days from your quarterback because that pushes everything, right? When you get 30 points from a quarterback, if it's not a running one, especially if it's a pocket quarterback or a pocket plus guy, a mobile guy, Jalen Hurts is more of a running quarterback, but when he stays in the pocket as he did against Tennessee, it's a lot of trouble. So he throws for 380, 3 touchdowns, very easy to match with an AJ Brown, especially since they took Goddard off the table, and now Devontae Smith and AJ Brown are stacking up points. So Jalen Hurts always going to have a really high total. Patrick Mahomes might have to get it done for you in a half, as the Chiefs are 14-point favorites in this one. But Houston was 16-point underdogs last week, and they played Dallas very, very tough throughout that game. We're going to have value options on the other side. So if you wanted to have bring back players to go along with Patrick Mahomes, who is averaging 27.3 DraftKings points, threw for 352 yards, completes 20, 28, 27, 26, 43, 25. It is possible that they just run out and run ahead in the first half and have the opposite outcome to somebody like the Cowboys last week. But people are going to shy away from double stacks of a quarterback anytime that they're really big favorites, because the prevailing thought from the public, from casuals, is they're just gonna run the ball. But like, this game has a total of 48.5, which means that the Chiefs have a team total of like 31. If they score 4 touchdowns plus, and 3 or 4 of them are through the air, Patrick Mahomes is going to have guys on the other end that are going to have viable days. It may only come in one half, because efficiency, not volume, is what leads to really good quarterback scoring. It's very possible for him to have like a 25 to 35 point DraftKings day by getting like 250 yards passing in the first half for 3 touchdowns. And if he does that, he's going to bring guys along with him. Justin Fields, man, they'll probably bring him back. If I'm the Bears, I'm not bringing him back. If I'm the Bears, I'm going to just tank the rest of this season without tanking. We're going to protect Justin Fields. We're going to put him in bubble wrap. We're going to shut it all down. We're going to just limp to the finish line. Why are you going to put him under duress against Philly's defensive line? But like, they're probably going to do it because they're the Bears. Just please sit him. Justin Herbert in a tremendous spot against a pass funnel that is the Tennessee Titans. And like, there's paths to going Justin Herbert with Henry coming back, because the Chargers allow so much efficiency on the ground. But I found a different way this week. I'm going to go with Dak Prescott going up against Jacksonville. By the way, the prophecy was fulfilled, and Trevor Lawrence did win a Millionaire Maker, as I prophesized last year. 3 kind of mediocre games back to back for Dak Prescott here in this spot. The Cowboys 4.5 point favorites, and the total is 48. So a very close contested game with really good and efficient offenses. Dallas has lost a couple pieces on defense. They're still the top, or one of the top 3, I think, defenses in terms of DVOA in the league. He's not averaging a ton of points through the air. He did throw for 284 last week, as they were really pushed by Houston and down for most of that game. This does look like a good spot for a Dak double, because we have to fill the tight end spot. Jacksonville not efficient at stopping just about anything, so give me CeeDee Lamb to go along with him. I'm going to pile Dallas Schultz in here, if his Dalton Schultz in here, if he'll come up at 4,400, because the amount of targets that are coming his way are just tremendous. The ceiling opportunities every time Dallas gets into the red zone. Just mentally, I want you to go over this with me. Picture Dallas on like the 17-yard line, and then think of what pass play they run. It 100% is going to be the tight end up the seam and him kind of getting the ball thrown to him high. That is the play that has basically been what they've run the last 3 years, regardless of who the tight end is, every time they get a first down, second down inside the red zone, but not a goal to go situation. I could see that connecting against Jacksonville. Jacksonville does have a good front seven, but not really all that great on the other side. They're a little suspect in the defensive back. Their front seven, very strong. Christian Kirk at 6,600 fits. Really good floor of targets. He has had touchdown upside. You guys know my philosophy. I want to buy when everybody else is selling. And right now, Christian Kirk is the number 1 target for Jacksonville on a week in, week out basis. However, people flock towards Travis Etienne Jr. because of what we want to believe Travis Etienne Jr. is or can be, but Travis Etienne Jr. has not been what we want him to be, which is Alvin Kamara or Austin Eckler or any of those heavy Christian McCaffrey that gets 6, 7, 10 targets a game and 12 carries with his big play explosiveness that he has on the ground. They don't use him like that for whatever reason. So like, people are going to go to him because his price has come down from 6,400. Zay Jones has had a couple of really big games the last 3 of the last 4 weeks. He is less money than Christian Kirk. And at tight end, Evan Engram was a Millionaire Maker winner last week with 15 targets and 11 catches, 2 touchdowns that came as if from nowhere following a bunch of bad weeks, which to me means that nobody's going to want to pay up to 6,600 to go get Christian Kirk against the Dallas Cowboys. And he makes for a perfect bring back play that should see 7+ targets in this game with touchdown upside. This is a really good, what I believe will be a low percentage played in combination double stack with maybe the lowest percentage played Christian Kirk on the other side from all the pass catchers that are on Dallas. Because on Dallas, I could see everybody just saying, I want to play Tony Pollard at 7,100, or I'm going to be contrarian and not play Tony Pollard. I'm going to play Ezekiel Elliott because he gets all the inside the 5 carries. And the reality is that both of them are doing really well from a fantasy perspective, but what we need from a DFS perspective to win a tournament is for one of them to be out and the other one to get all of the work. But right now, they're basically splitting 50-50. So I'm going to bet that things can happen through the air, at least in terms of this lineup. Now, we need to find running backs. Austin Eckler against Tennessee, like Austin Eckler and the Chargers, as long as now they've got all their receivers back. Mike Williams is back. Keenan Allen's back. Austin Eckler still well on pace to break the receiving record for running backs in the year. So Justin Herbert all of a sudden looks really, really good, and rightly so, because pass catchers matter in this league. He's 8,500. I can't make him work for this lineup right now, okay? But he is certainly in play. Josh Jacobs, extremely tough matchup against the New England Patriots, but his volume is going to be tremendous as it has been all season long. Derrick Henry, again, volume's going to be tremendous. I love the fact that they're giving him some targets. He has a higher floor than he has had this year at any point of his career because of the inclusion in the passing game of 3 expected targets on a week in, week out basis. And he gets the Chargers this week at 8,000. But I'm going to go a little bit contrarian here. I'm going to take Alvin Kamara, and I'm going to tell you why. Now, I know Kamara has not done tremendous this year. And again, I want to buy when everyone else is selling. So it's not Kamara has not done well because Kamara is bad. Kamara has not done well because two things. One, they've throttled his usage way, way down. But Mark Ingram going to be out now, which means Kamara should see an uptick in terms of snaps and touches, possibly to the 75-85% range. And if they use him the way that Alvin Kamara should be used, which is to give him the ball 12 to 15 times on the ground and throw him the ball 6 to 10 times through the air, which maybe I'm projecting a little bit here in terms of what I want the Alvin Kamara usage to be versus what it will be. We've seen them get close to that, but we've also seen Mark Ingram be the guy that has taken that away from him. But Ingram being out and none of these other guys quite ready for primetime players, MCL tear out 4 to 6 weeks. Look at the usage that he has been getting against Tampa Bay. 5 targets. This is 12 touches. Arizona, 3 targets, 4. 11 opportunities here. Against San Francisco, 5 opportunities there. Those snaps and touches are now just going to fall towards Alvin Kamara. Somebody will spell him from time to time, but I think that the usage goes way up in this particular situation. So give me Alvin Kamara in this spot, and then I need to get a couple of other running backs that I think are really, really solid because I got to find some value. Obviously, Miles Sanders is going to be in play. People still don't want to play Miles Sanders. He's got 11 touchdowns on the year. Remember last year when he scored 0 and nobody thought he'd ever score a touchdown again and Jalen Hurts was going to steal all of his rushing touchdowns? That didn't happen. 6,500, he should be a very solid play this week. 30-plus DraftKings points 2 of the last 3 weeks, but I'm going to look even lower. I'm going to look at Isaiah Pacheco. He has seen his targets move up every single week the last 3 weeks, from 0 in week 11 to 1 in week 12 to 2 in week 13, 3 in week 14. I'm going to project 4 targets this week for Isaiah Pacheco. And look, it's just math. You can't deny me that. 5,900, the kid is an aggressive, strong, fast, violent runner who has scored over 10 DraftKings points, hell, over 12.3 DraftKings points in each of the 4 games since he has been the primary guy. Now, he is not going to play 70% of the snaps, but he may not have to. With his big playability that he has, as violent a runner as he is, and he's going to get into the second level against Houston, who is extremely inefficient at stopping opposing running backs. This is a touchdown, possible 2 touchdown performance from Isaiah Pacheco on a team that projects to play from ahead for the majority of the second half. If he gets a touchdown in the first half, all bets are off at 5,900. I will take him here. Buckeye, thank you very much for the 26 months. And there's one more running back who just seems too cheap because people don't believe. Zonovan Knight is 5,300 again. This is 6,300. He's 1,000 too cheap. This is a $6,300 running back. He's playing Detroit. Now look, I'm on Team Lions, and I have, if you watch the content, if you tune into the Twitch stream, you know that like I've been on Team Lions since like November, December of last year. Like they're a sneaky team. They got a lot of assets. They can do some things moving forward. I was watching every one of the Hard Knocks episodes. I'm very happy about the way that I want them to make the playoffs, and I want the Rams to lose out so that they get one of the top 2 or 3 picks in this draft to really see what they can do and build that franchise. But like, they're not good on defense. And Zonovan Knight has been an extremely efficient running back since the Jets installed him as their number 1 back in week 12. we have an expectation of, let's say, I've said 15 plus opportunities. I'm going to say 17 plus opportunities in this spot, though I don't expect him to get 70+% of the workload because they are splitting him a little bit with Michael Carter. It was basically a 50-50 split last week when they were playing from behind the entire game, and he still got 19 opportunities. This is a game where they are favored. This is a game where they can pound the run. And Michael Carter is essentially in Nyheim Hinesville, J.D. McKissick town. He is a pass down running back. 10 targets through 3 games. There's enough meat on the bone here, specifically at 5,300 for a team that needs to establish the run and play running game and defense, and does not run against very heavy boxes because of the talent they have on the outside with Garrett Wilson, Elijah Moore, and everybody else. So Zonovan Knight at 5,300, in my opinion, from Monday, does look again like one of the better value plays on the slate. I'm going to plug in a defense. Let's go with the Broncos here. They're 2,700 playing against Arizona. Arizona has no defensive line, so maybe the Broncos can get some pressure in there. And at wide receiver, that leaves me 4,800 remaining. I need a little bit of correlation in this spot. Atlanta, not good on defense. Alvin Kamara, he's a good player. New Orleans, they're not great either. 2 weeks to prepare the rookie. Drake London is actually good. 12 targets in the last game against Pittsburgh. We could see a whole lot of targets, 8, 9 targets here for 4,700 from Drake London. Touchdown upside because of how big he is. The game does not have a super high total, but if they score, where are those scores going to come from? Hopefully we can get a touchdown, but I believe that he can pay this off on volume alone and challenge for 100 yards receiving. So our lineup for first look this week: Dak Prescott, Alvin Kamara, Isaiah Pacheco, CeeDee Lamb, Kirk, London, Schultz, Knight, and the Broncos defense. Thank you guys for watching. Look out for another video right there.
He's a legend.